Time is something we all live by, yet rarely think about how we measure it. Today we glance at our wrists or phones without a second thought, but the story behind that simple act stretches back centuries. Watches are more than just tools. They are the result of human curiosity, craftsmanship, and the constant desire to control time itself. From early mechanical inventions in Europe to today's digital and smart devices, watches have evolved alongside society. They've been symbols of status, survival tools in war, instruments of science, and even fashion statements. Along the way, they introduced innovations that shaped how we understand precision, engineering, and daily life. In this video, we'll explore history of watches, how they began, how they are made, why they are called watches, and how different types emerged over time. This is the story of how a simple timekeeping device became one of the most important personal objects in human history. Right here, on History of Simple Things. Long before watches existed, humans relied on natural cycles to track time. The movement of the sun, the phases of the moon, and seasonal changes formed the earliest clocks. Sundials became one of the first tools designed specifically to measure time, using shadows to indicate hours. However, these early systems were limited. They only worked during the day and depended heavily on weather conditions. As societies grew more complex, especially in agriculture and religion, there was a stronger need for consistent and reliable timekeeping. Monasteries in medieval Europe, for example, needed structured schedules for prayer. This led to the creation of large mechanical clocks powered by weights. These early clocks marked a major turning point as they introduced gears and regulated motion. Although these machines were massive and immobile, they laid the foundation for something much more personal: portable timekeeping devices that individuals could carry with them. The transition from large clocks to small portable watches began in the late 15th and early 16th centuries. This shift was made possible by the invention of the mainspring, a coiled metal strip capable of storing energy. Instead of relying on hanging weights, these new devices could operate independently, allowing them to be carried. One of the earliest known watchmakers was Peter Henlein, who created small spring-driven timepieces in the early 1500s. These early watches were often spherical and are sometimes referred to as Nuremberg eggs. Despite their innovation, these watches were not very accurate. Many only had a single hand to show the hour, and their timekeeping could vary significantly. Still, they represented a revolutionary idea. Time was no longer tied to a place. It could now be carried by a person. The word watch has an interesting and somewhat debated origin. One theory suggests that it comes from the Old English word watchi, meaning watchman. These individuals were responsible for guarding towns and needed to track time during their shifts. Another explanation links the term to sailors. On ships, time was divided into watches or duty periods. Devices used to measure these intervals became associated with the term itself. Over time, the name watch became standard for portable timekeeping devices. What's important is that the word reflects function. A watch is something that helps you watch the time, monitoring it closely. This naming highlights the shift from public timekeeping, like church bells, to personal responsibility for time. As watches became more common, people began organizing their lives around precise schedules, changing how society functioned on a daily basis. Early watches were impressive but flawed. Most used a mechanism called the verge escapement, which controlled the release of energy from the mainspring. However, this system was highly sensitive to changes in force, leading to inconsistent timekeeping. These watches were also bulky and often worn around the neck or carried in the hand. Their designs were more decorative than practical, reflecting their role as status symbols rather than precision instruments. Materials like iron were commonly used, although brass began replacing it in the late 1500s. Because of their limitations, early watches could lose hours in a single day. This meant they were not reliable for detailed scheduling. Still, they represented a major technological step forward. Even with their flaws, they introduced the idea that timekeeping could be personal, portable, and constantly accessible. One of the most important breakthroughs in watch history came in the 17th century with the invention of the balance spring. This tiny component dramatically improved accuracy by regulating the oscillation of the balance wheel. Before this invention, watches could be off by hours each day. With the balance spring, accuracy improved to within minutes. This advancement allowed watchmakers to add minute hands, transforming how time was displayed and understood. The balance spring worked by providing a restoring force, ensuring consistent movement regardless of the mainspring strength. This made watches far more reliable and practical for everyday use. This innovation marked the beginning of precision watchmaking. It also set the stage for future developments as watchmakers began focusing on improving every part of the mechanism to achieve greater accuracy and consistency. By the 17th century, watches had become more refined and practical, leading to the rise of pocket watches. These were designed to be carried safely in pockets, often attached to chains. Their flatter shape and protective covers made them more durable than earlier designs. Pocket watches became especially popular among the upper class. They were often elaborately decorated, featuring engravings, jewels, and intricate cases. Owning a watch was a sign of wealth and status. At the same time, improvements in manufacturing made watches more accessible. While still expensive, they were no longer limited to royalty. The growing demand also encouraged innovation, as watchmakers competed to create more accurate and reliable devices. Pocket watches remained dominant for centuries, becoming a standard accessory for men and playing a key role in the development of modern timekeeping. Mechanical watches are powered by a wound spring, known as the mainspring. When you wind the watch, energy is stored in the spring. As it unwinds, it releases energy through a series of gears known as the gear train. This energy is controlled by the escapement, which releases it in small, regular intervals. The balance wheel and spring then regulate this motion, ensuring consistent timekeeping. The hands of the watch are connected to this system, moving in precise increments to display hours, minutes, and sometimes seconds. What makes mechanical watches fascinating is that they rely entirely on physical components. No electricity is needed. Every movement is the result of carefully engineered parts working together. This intricate design is why mechanical watches are often considered works of art, combining engineering, craftsmanship, and precision into a single device. Watchmaking has always been closely tied to materials and craftsmanship. Early watches used iron, but over time, brass became more common due to its durability and ease of shaping. Later, watchmakers introduced precious metals like gold and silver for cases. Inside the watch, tiny components such as gears and springs require extreme precision. Even a small error can affect accuracy. To reduce friction, watchmakers began using jewels, often synthetic rubies, as bearings. These jewels allow parts to move smoothly and last longer, improving the overall performance of the watch. Craftsmanship plays a major role in assembling these components. Many high-quality watches are still made by hand, requiring skill and attention to detail. This combination of materials and craftsmanship is what gives watches their lasting appeal, blending functionality with artistry. Manual winding was once necessary to keep watches running, but this changed with the invention of automatic or self-winding watches. These watches use the motion of the wearer's wrist to wind the mainspring. A small rotor inside the watch spins as the wearer moves, converting motion into stored energy. This eliminates the need for regular manual winding. Early versions of this technology appeared in the 18th century, but modern automatic watches became more reliable in the 20th century. Automatic watches made timekeeping more convenient while maintaining the mechanical tradition. They are still popular today, especially among enthusiasts who appreciate the craftsmanship and engineering involved. This innovation reflects a key theme in watch history, making devices more practical without losing the essence of mechanical design. Originally, watches were not worn on the wrist. Wristwatches were considered jewelry, often worn by women, while men preferred pocket watches. This perception began to change in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. One of the earliest wristwatches was created for royalty, showing that the concept existed before it became widespread. Over time, wristwatches proved to be more practical, especially in situations where quick access to time was important. This shift marked a major change in watch design and usage. Watches became more personal and convenient, leading to new styles and innovations. The transition from pocket watches to wristwatches was gradual, but it ultimately reshaped the industry. Today, wristwatches are the most common form of watch, reflecting their practicality and versatility. The widespread adoption of wristwatches was heavily influenced by military use. During the early 20th century, especially in World War I, soldiers needed a quick and efficient way to check the time without using both hands. Pocket watches were inconvenient in combat, so wristwatches became the practical choice. These early military watches were designed for durability and visibility. They often featured luminous dials so soldiers could read the time in low-light conditions. Straps were made to withstand harsh environments, including mud and extreme weather. Wristwatches also played a critical role in coordinating attacks and movements. Precise timing was essential for synchronized operations, making reliable watches a necessity rather than a luxury. After the war, soldiers returned home with their wristwatches, helping to popularize them among civilians. What was once considered unusual for men quickly became the standard. The development of railroads in the 19th century created a new challenge. Time needed to be standardized. Before this, towns often set their own local time based on the sun, leading to confusion when scheduling trains. To solve this, railway companies introduced standardized time zones. Accurate watches became essential for train conductors and engineers to maintain safe and efficient operations. Pocket watches used by railroad workers had to meet strict standards. They needed to be highly accurate and reliable to prevent accidents caused by timing errors. This demand pushed watchmakers to improve precision and consistency. It also reinforced the importance of timekeeping in everyday life. As a result, watches became more than personal accessories. They became tools that supported large-scale systems. This shift helped integrate precise timekeeping into modern society, influencing industries far beyond transportation. The Industrial Revolution transformed watchmaking from a craft into a manufacturing industry. Before this period, watches were mostly handmade, making them expensive and limited in availability. With new machinery and production techniques, watchmakers could produce parts more efficiently and consistently. Interchangeable parts became a key innovation, allowing watches to be assembled and repaired more easily. This shift lowered costs and made watches accessible to a wider population. Companies began producing watches in larger quantities, meeting growing demand. Factories replaced small workshops and watchmaking became more standardized. Despite this, craftsmanship remained important, especially for higher-end watches. The Industrial Revolution not only expanded the availability of watches but also improved their reliability. It marked the beginning of modern watch production, combining precision engineering with scalable manufacturing processes. Switzerland became the center of watchmaking due to a combination of geography, skill, and tradition. In the 16th century, religious reforms led many jewelers in Geneva to turn to watchmaking as an alternative trade. Over time, Swiss watchmakers developed a reputation for precision and quality. They focused on refining techniques and maintaining high standards, which helped establish global trust in their products. The mountainous regions of Switzerland also played a role. During winter months, farmers often worked on watch components, contributing to a distributed production system. This unique combination of craftsmanship and organization allowed Switzerland to dominate the watch industry for centuries. Even today, Swiss watches are associated with luxury and precision. Their reputation is built on generations of expertise, making them some of the most respected timepieces in the world. A major shift in watch technology occurred in the 20th century with the invention of quartz watches. Unlike mechanical watches, quartz watches use a battery and a small piece of quartz crystal to keep time. When electricity passes through the quartz crystal, it vibrates at a consistent frequency. This vibration is used to regulate the movement of the watch, resulting in highly accurate timekeeping. Quartz watches are significantly more precise than mechanical ones, often losing only a few seconds per month. They also require less maintenance as they have fewer moving parts. This innovation made watches more affordable and accessible. It marked a turning point in the industry, introducing a new standard for accuracy and convenience. Quartz technology continues to be widely used today, forming the basis for many modern watches. The introduction of quartz watches led to a period known as the Quartz Crisis. Traditional mechanical watchmakers, especially in Switzerland, struggled to compete with the affordability and accuracy of quartz technology. Many companies faced financial difficulties and some were forced to close. The industry underwent significant changes as manufacturers adapted to new market demands. Quartz watches, often produced in large quantities, dominated the market. Their reliability and lower cost made them appealing to consumers worldwide. However, this period also led to innovation. Mechanical watchmakers began focusing on craftsmanship, luxury, and heritage to differentiate their products. Over time, the industry stabilized, with both quartz and mechanical watches finding their place. The Quartz Crisis reshaped watchmaking, highlighting the impact of technological advancement on traditional industries. Digital watches introduced a completely different way of displaying time. Instead of hands and dials, they use electronic displays, often showing numbers on an LCD or LED screen. These watches became popular in the late 20th century, offering features beyond timekeeping. Many included alarms, stopwatches, and calendars, making them multifunctional devices. Digital watches are powered by batteries and rely on electronic circuits. Their simplicity and functionality made them widely accessible. They also introduced a new aesthetic, moving away from traditional designs. For many people, digital watches represented modern technology and convenience. Although they differ from mechanical watches, digital watches remain an important part of watch history. They demonstrate how timekeeping has evolved to meet changing needs and preferences. As watches evolved, specialized designs emerged for specific activities. Sports watches, for example, are built to withstand physical activity and environmental conditions. Diving watches are designed to be water-resistant and easy to read underwater. They often include rotating bezels to track time spent below the surface. Pilot watches feature large dials and clear markings for quick readability. Some include additional functions for navigation and timing. Other specialized watches include chronographs, which function as stopwatches, and field watches designed for durability in outdoor conditions. These variations show how watches have adapted to different needs. They are not just tools for telling time, but instruments designed for specific purposes. This diversity highlights the versatility of watches and their ability to evolve with human activities. Watch movements refer to the mechanisms that power a watch. There are three main types: mechanical, automatic, and quartz. Mechanical movements require manual winding. They rely entirely on physical components to keep time. Automatic movements are similar, but include a rotor that winds the mainspring using the wearer's motion. Quartz movements use a battery and a quartz crystal for precise timekeeping. They are the most common due to their accuracy and low cost. Each type has its advantages. Mechanical watches are valued for craftsmanship, automatic watches for convenience, and quartz watches for precision. Understanding these movements helps explain how watches function and why different types exist. It also highlights the balance between tradition and innovation in watchmaking. Throughout history, watches have often been associated with status and wealth. Early watches were expensive and owned primarily by the elite. As craftsmanship improved, watches became symbols of taste and refinement. Materials like gold, diamonds, and intricate designs added to their value. Even today, luxury watches are seen as investments and expressions of personal style. They represent not just functionality but identity. At the same time, more affordable watches allow wider access, making timekeeping universal. This dual role, practical tool and status symbol, has remained consistent over time. Watches continue to reflect both technological progress and cultural values. Modern watchmaking combines traditional craftsmanship with advanced technology. Components are often produced using precise machinery, ensuring consistency and accuracy. In high-end watches, many parts are still assembled by hand. Watchmakers carefully fit gears, springs, and other components to ensure proper function. Quality control is a crucial step. Watches are tested for accuracy, durability, and resistance to environmental factors. Materials have also evolved. Stainless steel, sapphire crystal, and advanced alloys improve strength and longevity. Despite technological advances, the basic principles of watchmaking remain the same. Energy is stored, regulated, and displayed. This blend of old and new techniques defines modern watch production, preserving tradition while embracing innovation. Watches require maintenance to function properly over time. Mechanical watches, in particular, need regular servicing to clean and lubricate internal components. Quartz watches are easier to maintain but still require battery replacements. Proper care can significantly extend the lifespan of a watch. Factors like moisture, dust, and impact can affect performance. Many watches are designed to resist these elements, but care is still important. Regular maintenance ensures accuracy and reliability. It also preserves the value of the watch, especially for high-end models. With proper care, watches can last for generations. This longevity makes them unique among personal devices, often becoming heirlooms passed down through families. The future of watches is shaped by both tradition and innovation. Mechanical watches continue to attract enthusiasts who appreciate craftsmanship and history. At the same time, smartwatches and new technologies are expanding what watches can do. Features like health monitoring and connectivity are becoming more advanced. Sustainability is also becoming a focus. Manufacturers are exploring eco-friendly materials and production methods. Despite these changes, the core purpose of watches remains the same: measuring and managing time. The coexistence of different types, mechanical, quartz, and smart, shows that watches are not limited to one form. They continue to evolve while maintaining their significance. This balance ensures that watches will remain relevant, adapting to future needs while preserving their rich history. As watches became everyday items, durability became increasingly important. One major improvement was the development of water-resistant designs. Early watches were highly vulnerable to moisture, which could damage internal components and affect performance. To address this, watchmakers introduced sealed cases, rubber gaskets, and screw-down crowns. These features help prevent water and dust from entering the watch. Over time, standardized ratings were developed to indicate how much water exposure a watch can handle. Water resistance is not just about swimming or diving. It also protects against everyday exposure like rain, sweat, and humidity. This makes watches more reliable in a variety of environments. Durability also includes resistance to shock and temperature changes. Modern watches are built to handle daily wear while maintaining accuracy. These improvements ensure that watches remain functional and dependable even under challenging conditions. Beyond functionality, watches have become important elements of personal style. Design plays a major role in how watches are perceived and worn. Factors such as case shape, dial layout, color, and strap material all contribute to a watch's overall appearance. Different designs serve different purposes. Some watches are minimal and focused on simplicity, while others are bold and decorative. Materials like leather, metal, and rubber straps allow for a wide range of styles. Fashion trends have also influenced watch design over time. Certain sizes, colors, and features become popular during specific periods, reflecting broader cultural preferences. Despite changing trends, many designs remain timeless. Classic styles continue to be appreciated for their balance and simplicity. This blend of design and function shows that watches are not just tools, they are also expressions of identity, reflecting both personal taste and cultural influence. Watch collecting has become a global hobby, attracting enthusiasts who appreciate both history and craftsmanship. Collectors often seek watches for their design, rarity, or mechanical complexity. Some focus on vintage watches, valuing their historical significance and unique characteristics. Others prefer modern pieces with advanced technology or innovative designs. Beyond ownership, collecting involves learning. Enthusiasts study watchmaking techniques, historical developments, and industry trends. This community helps preserve the legacy of watchmaking, keeping traditional knowledge alive. It also reflects the enduring appeal of watches, showing that even in a digital age, these devices continue to inspire curiosity and admiration. Watches have come a long way from their origins as simple mechanical devices. What began as an attempt to make time portable has evolved into a complex and diverse industry. Along the way, watches have reflected technological advancements, cultural shifts, and human creativity. In the end, a watch is more than just a device. It is a connection between the past, present, and future, ticking steadily forward with every passing second. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.